Hey everyone, welcome back to our little channel.
Hey guys, really excited about this week's worship. Marty's story, just be sure to check it out. It is really incredible about God's mercy and grace and miracles. So hope you like this week. Thanks for joining.
And don't forget those prayer requests.
Walking around these walls, I thought by now they'd fall, but you have never failed me yet. Waiting for change to come, knowing the battle's won. For you have never failed me yet. Your promise still stands. Great is your faithfulness, your faithfulness. I'm still in your hands. This is my confidence. You never failed me. I know the night won't last. Your word will come to pass. My heart will sing your praise again. Jesus, you're still enough. Keep me within your love. My heart will sing your praise again. Your promise still stands. Great is your faithfulness, your faithfulness. I'm still in your hands. This is my confidence. You never fail. Your promise still stands. Great is your faithfulness, your faithfulness. I'm still in your hands. This is my confidence. You never fail me yet. Seen you move the mountain, and I believe I see you do it again. You made a way when there was no way, and I believe I see you do it again. Seen you move the mountain, and I believe I see you do it again. Still stand. Great is your faithfulness, your faithfulness. I'm still in your hands. This is my confidence. You never still stand. Great is your faithfulness, your faithfulness. I'm still in your hand. This is my confidence. You never fail me yet. That I wake up till I lay my head, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. And all my life you have been faithful, and all my life you have been so good. With every breath that I am able, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. I love your voice. You have led me through the fire in the darkest night. You were close like no other. I know you as a father, I know you as a friend, and I have lived in the goodness of God. And all my life you have been faithful. All my life you have been so good. With every breath that I am able, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. Your goodness is running after me. Your goodness is running after me. With my life laid down, I surrender now. I give you everything. Your goodness is running after me. Your goodness is running after me. Your goodness is running after me. With my life laid down, I surrender now and give you everything. Your goodness is running after me. every breath that I am able, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. I will sing of the goodness of God.
Well, hey guys, we're with Marty this week. He had a pretty incredible accident at work a few years ago, and he's very lucky to have survived. So he's going to share his story. So Marty, go ahead and tell us your story about what you're doing that day and what happened.
Yeah, this was like, I want to say it was 2013, April, spring day. I've been working hard all day moving equipment. I was getting tired, and this was the last machine I had to move that day. And it was a D5 dozer. It was probably around 6 or 6:30 in the evening. And when I got there, I split the trailer and the tractor apart, and went ahead and loaded the dozer. When I loaded the dozer, I angled the machine on the trailer and turned the blade in the opposite way. And this was so that I could get it to fit on the trailer, so I wouldn't have to flag the truck for oversized load. Then I chained it down, and after I got all that finished, I proceeded to my destination. When I arrived there, I noticed the crew was working about a football field away. I proceeded to unchain the machine, and shortly after climbed up and sat in the seat. Being as tired as I was, all I could think about was getting the machine off and quickly as possible and going home. I fired up the machine, turned the manual throttle up fairly high, more than normal. Then I hit the clutch and pushed the joystick into gear. Then the machine started tracking forward, but when I pushed on the joystick to turn right, it would not turn. And I needed it to turn as not to run the machine off the side of the trailer. Because the machine would not turn, I decided to back up and turn the machine to straighten it in line so I could drive it forward straight off the front of the trailer. But when I put it in reverse, I was moving really fast, and I had forgotten that it moves 3 to 4 times faster in reverse than forward. It caught me by surprise, and in a split second, the rippers hit the back of the trailer where the frame is and goes over the axles. The tracks were sliding in reverse at that time. I was fighting the joystick, trying to get it out of gear, and shortly after that it caught traction and climbed up the top of the axles and tracked over to one side. And as I watched, one of the tracks fell off the side, throwing me really hard into the roll cage. And as I hit the roll cage with my shoulder, it rolled me out of the machine and onto the ground. And I looked up, and it was like a giant boulder rolling over on me. And man, it's tough. I looked in disbelief as it pinned me to the ground. I laid there and wondered what had just happened. I could not move underneath the weight of the machine. I couldn't breathe as the weight of the machine had flattened my body from the waist down. My lungs were like 2 little tiny balloons, It squeezed everything up into my chest cavity. I felt myself fading away because I could not breathe. I soon came to realize that I was going to die. And I remember thinking about my wife and my kids, and that I would not be able to tell them goodbye. And I was sad because of that. And I remember talking with God and saying this must be the place where I was supposed to die. And I remember saying, please take me, Lord. And he told me to wave my hand. And it didn't make any sense to me. And I told him that if they can't see this big machine laying on top of me, then how could they possibly see my hand wave? And I felt myself starting to pass out. So I did like the voice had told me, and I waved my hand. And I remember waking up in great pain in the ambulance. I was in the hospital for a week or so, and one of the crew chiefs showed up to visit me. And he told me that he was the crew chief that spotted me that day of the accident. And I asked him, I said, what was it that caught your attention? And he said, I saw your hand wave. And it was at that moment I knew that it was God. And then the other guys of the crew showed up, and I asked them what happened. And they told me that they ran over where I was at the dozer, and it was still running on its side. So they shut the machine off. And then they had the loader come over and carefully put the bucket blade under the edge of the roll cage and lifted it up off of me and pulled me out. They said I was blue and I wasn't breathing. And they said after a few minutes that I took a big gasp of air and started breathing again. And shortly after that, the ambulance showed up and took me away. They said that I was lucky that day because they were getting ready to leave when they found me.
Wow. When it rolled over on top of you, was it the roll cage that was pinning you down?
The roll cage was the thing that pinned me to the ground, and the machine was completely on its side.
Was the ground hard and dry that day? So it was just a full weight.
It was like a clay soil. It was really hard.
So it wasn't pushing you in at all. It was just purely on top of you.
It was purely on top of me. When I got to the hospital, after a while, they figured out that my pelvis was crushed and broke one of my vertebrae, and then I had 3 broken ribs.
Wow.
And everything from my waist down was black and blue, just completely. And everything was just swollen out of size.
And it was getting dark, end of the day.
It was towards the end of the,
So to have, for the chance that guy looked over and saw your arm is a miracle.
Absolutely. That was the sign to me, because it didn't make any sense to me at all. I mean, to see a machine maybe laying on its side, they might notice that, but they didn't notice that. The thing that caught their attention was my hand waving. And
did they hear anything?
No.
Wow.
That was the only thing he said that caught his attention.
That's just amazing. Absolutely amazing. And your injuries were a crushed pelvis, a broken vertebrae,
3 broken ribs.
3 broken ribs. How long were you in recovery? How long did it take you to get back on your feet?
It took a long, long time. They had to go in, and I had to go in for surgery, but they had to wait for the injuries to subside. All of the crushed part of my body had to get well enough where they could operate on me. And I had a really good surgeon. He came in they actually reconstructed my pelvis. And so I have a lot of plates and screws that hold all that together. And yeah, it was a super long time. It took, after all the screws and the metal went in, then I had a long period of time where I had to go through therapy, and they wouldn't allow me to put any weight on my pelvis because it would break loose again. And so everything with the plates and screws were made to hold everything together, but they were waiting for the bones to grow back together. So there was a long waiting period between, being, I couldn't get out. I could get out of bed and maybe get into my wheelchair, and maybe if I had to go to the bathroom or something. So I was, for a long time, it took quite a while before they would allow me to put any weight on my legs at all. And that was a long process. So I was in a wheelchair for a long time. And I wasn't sure if I was going to walk. They never would. They wouldn't say anything, but I talked to one of the therapists. She said, "Do you think you'll ever walk again? If I would ever walk again?" She says, "Yes, you'll walk again." And so I just kept working at it. I worked with the therapist. I kept trying to get better. And I came along fairly well, but it did take a long time.
So you are sitting here living proof that miracles do happen.
Absolutely. God does care. He does.
Yes.
He absolutely does. There's a lot of it that I didn't know, when I passed out. The not breathing part I didn't know about for a long time. That was something that the guys told me.
Did someone administer CPR, or
No.
they just figured it was over and then all of a sudden you started breathing again?
Yeah, they said after several minutes after me pulling me out from underneath the machine, they said I just took a big gasp of air and started breathing again. So I'm very fortunate that I'm here.
Yes.
I don't believe I should be here, but God cares enough. He brought me back.
Well, thank you, Marty. Thank you for sharing your incredible story. And it's good to hear stories of God's miracles.
Amen.
Amen.
When my mind is like a battlefield, my heart is overcome by fear, and hope seems like a ship that's lost at sea. My enemies on every side, and I'm tempted to run and hide, but your gentle whisper reaches out to me. Peace holds me when I'm broken, sweet peace that passes understanding. When the whole wide world is crashing down, I fall to my knees and breathe in your peace. Fiery arrows whistling, the terror of the night sets in, but I can feel your angels all around. I am resting underneath the shelter of your mighty wings. Your promises are where my hope is found. Peace holds me when I'm broken, the God who's never far, and I will not be afraid. You always keep it safe. Remember who you are, the God who's never far, and I will not be afraid. For you always keep me safe. Peace holds me when I'm broken. Sweet peace that passes understanding. When the whole wide world is crashing down, I fall to my knees and breathe in your peace. I remember who you are. You're the God who